Operation Confidence proudly presents America's Invisible Heroes radio talk show. Tune in weekly on Sundays from 2 to 3:30 p.m. Pacific Time with your hosts, Consuela Mackey, co-host U.S. Air Force veteran Matt Davidson, announcers Taylor Marcella and Brooke Gadesi, U.S. Army veteran and entertainment host Charles Whitehead, U.S. Army Special Forces veteran and I Once Was Whole segment host Richard Cook, U.S. Army veteran and Lifeline for Women's Veterans segment host Martha Elena Varela, National Faith Program Director and Veterans in Recovery segment host Anthony Akimpora, and U.S. Air Force veteran and Incarceration to Success segment host Kevin Lewandowski. For more information or to be a guest on our show, email info@operationconfidence.org.
Operation Confidence is a grassroots nonprofit. The organization's mission is to provide stable housing for veterans who have experienced homelessness, as well as providing a wide range of supportive services. To help accomplish our goal, a successful landowner has donated land for the project, a world-renowned architect has offered to design the houses, and construction classes from the local community colleges will take part in building the houses. Your support and donations are needed. To get involved, please visit our website at www.operationconfidence.org or email info@operationconfidence.com.
Okay, well, welcome everyone, and thank you for tuning in to America's Invisible Heroes, the show dedicated to our veterans and their families. Yes, I'm your host, Consuela Mackey, Executive Director of a grassroots nonprofit organization called Operation Confidence. No, I'm not a veteran, but my heart goes out to our American heroes, especially those who are disabled and may have experienced homelessness. The show, for those who are new, the show was established to provide a platform, as mentioned, for our veterans to be able to share their experiences, heartfelt stories, resources, challenges, and accomplishments. Now, allow me to introduce our co-host for today. We have our U.S. Army veteran, Matt Davidson, who is a board member and now vice president. We have U.S. Army Reserve veteran, Charles Whitehead, board member and co-host. We have U.S. Air Force veteran, John Oppenheim. He has a monthly segment called Veterans from the Hub. Then we have Ann Montague. She has a bi-monthly segment. She is our bi-monthly segment host, but from Rosie's Movement. And then we have U.S. Army veteran Richard Cook. He has a monthly segment called I Once Was Whole. Say hello to everyone.
Hi, everybody.
Hello.
Hello.
I want to wish everybody a happy 4th of July. And then we want to give a special prayer for our co-hosts and announcer Martha Varela, who's a bit under the weather, Taylor Marcella, who's out on location, but she'll be back next Sunday with her phenomenal stories. Now, take it away, Matt.
Yes, yesterday we had our board of directors meeting, and it was very inspirational, I'll say. And first, I would like to personally thank those who have offered so much to help us in our journey to help homeless veterans. And I'm speaking particularly of Jet Sissom, who donated a large parcel of land for the project, for Norberto Nardi, who is an accomplished architectural individual, and for Dr. Daniel Walden of Victor Valley Community College, who is going to be offering construction support to his students. And we're thankful for all of these individuals. And what I've noticed is that While the Los Angeles VA area is receiving a great deal of assistance in serving our homeless veterans, the area that we will serve goes unserved for the most part. Operation Confidence will work with the San Bernardino VA to assist with an extensive outreach to locate those who are in need of stable housing and with a wide range of supportive services. We will provide VA healthcare enrollment, employment assistance, and veteran counseling from those responsible for providing needed information on a variety of veteran issues, seeking funding.
Take your time.
Seeking funding for those responsible for needing information on a variety of veteran issues. And seeking funding for our services will be an ongoing project. This is an area that we need to look into seriously. We need to be contacting organizations, businesses, providers, people who want to get their names out for being active in the veteran community through service issues. We can do this. We need to do it more actively because we need those supportive structures. We need what goes inside of those, the showers, the beds, and so forth. We need to have a place where veterans can go and learn how to use computers. We need somebody to help them make their own resumes, and then we need to help them get those resumes out to people who might be willing to hire them. But all of this takes funding. It's not for free. And so if you care about veterans, if you really care about them, especially those who are in danger on the streets, homeless, who are disabled, it's easy to help out, to get involved. Talk to your friends, talk to businesses, talk to anybody who'll listen and say, look, we've got something really important going on here and we need your help. And let us know, pitch in, do something for those who did everything for this country.
Right.
And so this is where we're at. It was a good board of directors meeting. We've got another one set up for next month. And we'll see how far we've gotten and how far we need to go to get this job done. And I appreciate your time and listening to this. And we'll be back in touch. And that's
Matt,
all
before you sign off, give us a little bit of background on what you do and what you have done for our veterans.
Okay, I've worked 16 years for homeless veterans and those who have been involved with drugs and alcohol. And first I would enroll them into the VA so that they can get immediate health care. And then I would seek out temporary housing for them. And then I would help them find a job that fits their background and their skills. Also, in this course of time, I would visit and coordinated a program for incarcerated veterans in federal prisons. And this ranged from Lompoc to Victorville to Los Angeles and San Pedro. And I served veterans there who were preparing to leave the prison, to be discharged from the prison, and they needed a way to land on their feet. They needed to have a job provided for them. They needed a place to live. And if we would just let them out on their own, they would probably get in trouble and be back in jail before you knew it.
That's
But we were able to direct a lot of these people, and I've got a lot of letters from them after they got out and got jobs and were happy and in a new place to live, and they didn't go back to jail. And some of our homeless vets, I remember one fella came into the place where I was working, and he was strung out on crack cocaine. And he told me at one point that he didn't care if he lived or died. And I told him, I said, well, I care. And we took him to the VA, we got him in the program, and found him a place to live, got him familiar with the computer, got him a job. And a while later, down the road, I hadn't heard from him in a while. And then suddenly I got a call, and he was inviting me to come to his college graduation.
Oh,
And so I couldn't believe that he went full circle all the way around.
wow.
And he's got a whole new life now.
That's so wonderful, so touching.
But these are things that we can do.
We will do.
And will do
Right.
at Operation Confidence. And it's not an abnormal thing. It's going to be a normal thing. It's thing like we're going to just do it.
That's
And
right.
we can do it. We've got the dedication. We've got the good people to do it. There's no way that we can't do it.
That's right.
So you're pulling the Nike logo in. Just do it.
That's right.
That's right.
Charles, do you have the sports arena video just to show how long you and I and Matt have been working together since 2011? Our veterans program started in 2009, and we all came together. God brought us all together, and we I bugged the city council and the Coliseum Commission, but they were able to give us the grounds of the sports arena before it was torn down to host the job fair and resource fair. And it was an amazing event. We've had many others since then, but this is the beginning. Do you have it there to show?
Yeah, give me a second here.
And while he's looking for it, Matt, you also are in the process of your book coming out.
Yes. This is a book that has to do with my own addiction during the 60s. Has to do with also veteran experiences.
Mm-hmm.
It's a book of essays and poetry, pretty much. It's been endorsed by Tennessee Williams and Richard Harris.
Really?
Among some other people. And anyway, that's still, publishing a book is no easy thing.
Right.
It takes time and effort, and we're still working on that part of it. The writing's all done, the design is all done, but it's just the picky stuff that you have to do for the publisher.
Right. That's right. That is so amazing. Well, congratulations. You know, we're so proud of you.
But thank you.
Did you find it, Charles?
Almost. You know, I got it. I got a channel through the grapevine. Give me another 30 seconds. I'm asking for a lot of time today, huh?
Yeah, you are. I'm gonna move right along to Ann then, because she has her. Let me know. Give us a signal, and then you can come back to it. But she has her guests.
Right.
On the phone now, right, Ann? Oh, let's see how it goes. You're
in
muted,
just a
Ann.
moment.
There you go.
We're ringing her now.
This is one of the original Roses of the Riveters. She's how old, Ann?
She's 98
Wow.
and she's a spring chick.
Yeah.
Hello.
Hello, Miss Maisie. Am I ready to?
Yes.
How are you?
Yes.
Uh,
Oh, I'm making that okay.
you're making out. Oh my goodness, making out okay.
Yeah.
Maisie, I have a wonderful set of people listening to you now. They're all in Los Angeles area. And they're very, very interested in the Rosies and your stories of World War II and your life and all that. So you're now being recorded. And I'm gonna just basically ask you some questions and make sure that they can hear you. Can you all hear her?
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay, good. That's great. Maisie, let's start with the beginning. Tell people where you were born and a little bit about your childhood.
Well, my mom and dad, we lived in the country on a farm. And then my mom and dad, they took us to church every Sunday and walked about 3 miles to the church, Sunday school, and Sunday night. And through the week, we went to school. And so back in the country in Nicholas County, and my teacher was Lemon Richardson, a great, great man, but I guess he's passed on. It's been many years. And I grew up, and I got old enough, and my mom and dad moved to Fayette County. I was near Chimney Corner, West Virginia. And then when I got older, I went to school in Anstead and Fayette County. And when I got older, my brother in World War II started, and they went to hiring and issued the plants, making World War II material, airplanes and everything. My brother came when I turned 18. You had to be 21, but you had to have your parents to sign your papers if you was over 18 to 21. So I didn't know that they had to sign for me, but my brother taken me to Akron, Ohio when I was between 18 and 19 years old. Me and another girl, our neighbor, we went to church together, and I got a job right on a Goodyear airplane, Goodyear aircraft in Akron, Ohio. And they wanted me to take 6 weeks training as a Rosie the Riveter, that I'd have to use a rivet gun, electrical rivet gun, and a countersink, and a electric drill. I said, well, that won't be no problem. So, but here come to find out, by the time I thought I was going to get to go to work, I had to go back to West Virginia and get my parents to sign because I wasn't 21. They said you must be 21 or your parents has to sign for you. So I wasn't 21. So my parents signed the paper. I went back to Akron, Ohio, went right to work at Plant C at Goodyear Aircraft. And I worked right there on B-29 and B-26 big airplane wings. I was totally a riveter on those wings. At Plant C, they had more than one plant. Some made airplanes. Plant B made fighter planes. Plant C made different kinds of parts for planes. And Plant E made motors and big aircraft ships that flies in the air. So I was in Plant C during World War II, totally a riveter on B-26 and 29 airplane wings. And I had to use an electric drill, a kind of thing. And I can't even think of the name of the tools now. But then he had a countersink and a drill and a rivet gun, electric rivet gun. So I worked right there 6 days a week. My shift was from 3 o'clock in the evening till 11 o'clock at night, 6 days a week. Sunday was the only day that I had off. And I worked evening shift there, 3 to 11. And Sunday, then I'd get up early in the morning, me and the other girl too, and we'd do our laundry for the week and get us something to eat. And then in the afternoon, in the evening, we would go back to church. And I went to church on Sunday night in Akron High. So, doing Sunday night.
So Maisie, I'm looking at people's faces and they're very fascinated with your story. Tell us about your boyfriend. You were about to get married and what happened?
Well, yes, he was in Millerilla or some Texas. You probably know where that place is. It was he was in Air Force and he was drafted and had to go to war. And when he was in Alabama or Texas or Amarillo, Texas, or anyhow, Air Force Base. And he would write to me and call me on Sundays. So on Sundays, he called me and told me that he was aiming at getting a 10-day leave before he had to be shipped out to overseas. And said he was coming, he'd get a 10-day leave and wanted to know if I could meet him in West Virginia or should he come to Akron to see me. And I studied over and I talked to my boss on my job and see if I could get Saturdays and Sundays off from my work. And so I wouldn't have to go back till Monday, 3 o'clock to work if he'd let me off. So he gave me orders so I could be off. And then I was on my way on a Friday when I was supposed to start to come home to meet him. And I got a telegram. I was on my way to my job at 3 o'clock and I got a telegram. And so said he was hit by a big vehicle in Dallas, Texas, I believe it was. And it was killed.
Oh, no.
And his boss, guard, whoever who he was, officer, had said he had my letter in his pocket where he was told him where to meet me. And he called me then and told me he was killed. And that's how I got the message he was killed, because that guard was with him on the Air Force Base. Said he had the letter, Robert did, in his pocket that he got from me, and said when he got killed, he took that letter out and he read it and got my address and called me.
And you,
that's how I knew he was killed.
and Maisie, you all were scheduled to get married on his leave.
Yeah. But I was to meet him in West Virginia. Done told me that I could have time off. But when I got that telegram, that canceled it all,
Yeah,
So,
for sure.
It's so sad. I couldn't hardly stand it. But the boss let me off. I got funeral services and everything from where he was sent back to Point Pleasant, West Virginia, for burial, where his mother, his aunt raised him after a newborn baby. Said his mother was giving him away and she didn't want him in it, so his aunt took him when she was a teacher and raised him, and she sent me the telegram too, and I got it from Air Force. The head guy that was with him when he was killed said he seen my letter in his pocket. He took the letter after he was killed out of his pocket and read it and got my name and address. That's how he let me know. So anyhow, my boss let me come home for his 2-day funeral.
Maisie, tell the group here, you were very glad to come home. Did you ever think of staying in Akron? You and I went up to your boarding house. You stayed at a boarding house there. Did you ever think of staying in Akron, or why did you come back to West Virginia?
Well, I stayed after the war was over. I was right there when the war ended. It was a sad time. And I tell you, Ann, really, Columbus bus, and they said there was 5 plants there. I believe it was 5 now. I might be mistaken about that. But it was A, B, C, D, and E, and I worked from plant C. But when the war ended, we used to go to eat lunch. I was at 7 o'clock, and about 5 more minutes till 7 that very evening that the war ended, they come over all the intercoms. They're loud and clear, attention, attention. Says, the war's ended, the war's ended. Lay down your tools. Come back tomorrow, check in your tools. Lay down your tools. Come back tomorrow, check in your tools. And that was the end of my job. And I tell you, it was sad. And I was about 3 to 4 hours of getting home. No further than I had to go because of traffic, and people were celebrating. I never seen nothing like it in my life. They were on rooftops, put their bumper, blowing horns, and they was on rooftops throwing papers, cans tied to cars, and office noise, and all car horns solidly blowing. And it was ever so long. I'd say 2 hours of getting back downtown, about 5 miles from my job to Main Street in Akron, Ohio.
And now,
So anyway,
Maisie, most of the girls, most of the women who worked in the factories stayed in boarding houses. You stayed in a boarding house, didn't you? Did you share a room with somebody?
No, me and the other girl went from West Virginia up there with me. We just we found the sweetest old lady. She was a Jewish woman, and she was a widow. She had a brother lived up the street, and she had a big, nice 2-story house, and she rented at the first floor apartment. And my brother went with us, and he paid for my first week's rent. Give his last dollar, so just enough so he could get back to West Virginia to see that I had a place to stay and go to work till I could get a payday. And so we got rented that first floor on in that house, had a big porch, and outside and back of the house. And I worked evening shift, the other girl worked day shift, and they gave us both a chance to take care of we had the first floor apartment, a kitchen, a dining room, and a bedroom.
So Maisie,
That is so precious. So Macy's stories is just heartfelt.
let me
And so historical. We have to make sure we document that.
Yes.
Maybe Matt would consider writing some of these Rosie stories,
that would be great. Maisie, do you want to make any statement about what do you think about America now compared to then?
And then we got to sign off. Next
I don't
guest.
know what I could think now. See, I'm 98 years old, and
You're a young 98.
Yes, I'm 98 years old.
Tell her she's a young 90. Tell her we said she's a young 98. And
Okay, so Maisie, we're going to close out now, but I wish you could see the group here. They're loving people, and I very much look forward to it.
let her know how much we love her.
They say they love you, okay?
Thank you
And
very
she has
much.
to come back again.
Enjoyed my work.
Let me show her pictures.
But I was glad the war was over because there's so many boys killed. And the best boyfriend I had, I knowed him before I went to work as a younger girl, about 16. I met him, and I went on to work, and he was stationed in Dallas, Texas, and he was to come home in 10 days, and I was to meet him. My boss then told me I could be off, and I was to meet him in West Virginia, but he got killed. And the boss got it, his boss, the head of his board, got my letter out of his pocket after he was killed. And he let me know what happened to him. And it was so sad. I went and told my boss, and he let me off.
Well, they're looking at your picture right now, Maisie. I sent them your picture. You were such a beautiful young woman. I think you had a lot of freckles. But anyhow, the time is up for this group, but I really want you to know that this is a very kind and open-hearted group. And they will invite you back if you ever want to, if you have more things to say, then we will make sure that you get invited back. Maybe I can get your daughter to come into your home with a cell phone or a computer so that you can meet these people and see who you're talking to. And they can.
We would love that.
Anyway, I enjoyed my work. I could have cried to give up my job, but I was glad the war was over.
Yeah, for
And
sure.
I got to come back home to the boyfriend that I knew, and he's a very decent boy. He knew my parents. He got acquainted with me, and so anyway, I got to come back to his funeral and all, and that was so sad. But I went back to my job, and I worked right there till the war ended.
Good for you. Good for you.
Well, we love you for your contribution to our country.
And I worked for another lady, and then I come back to West Virginia. My parents wanted me to come back, and I got a job then at Dunbar, West Virginia, at the Lesser Enamel plant.
Is that right? Right.
I was working right there when they shut down, and then later I got married.
All right, that's good. And you had a whole past full of kids, and we'll talk about that next time, Maisie, okay?
Okay.
All right, love you.
Thank you, Mazie.
All right, thank you.
Love you, and I'll talk to you soon.
Or anything if you want to.
All right, love you. Bye now.
You too. Bye.
Bye.
Oh, she's so precious. Isn't she precious?
She's
And the
precious.
fact how she remembers everything.
Yeah, I know that.
I think she had 5 children by her by her husband. And
Wow.
they're just incredible people. They're so
Really?
attentive to her. She still lives alone, and she's 98.
She lives alone?
Yes.
That's
All right.
amazing. Right. Well, we love her. She's so precious.
So thanks for having her on, folks.
My pleasure.
She got all
Okay,
the-
you're gonna show our video real quick and then let John go on.
Oh, yes.
Just wanted to show you the history of when Operation Confidence got started with for our veterans program. We've been out there since '79 as an official nonprofit, but this is our veterans program in 2009 that started.
They put
We
their lives
hosted
on the
this
line for our country, but
2011.
many veterans struggle to find work when they get home, especially if they were injured while serving. Today, a job fair showcased opportunities for some of our nation's heroes. NBC4's Andy Adler reports.
I'm sure you heard stories in the past about soldiers coming home and they wounded and they missing a limb. I mean, I served 2 tours in Iraq and I've seen it firsthand.
Yeah, we've heard those stories before. And when Lynette Jones came back
There's
from
Matt.
serving in Iraq, she too, like most vets, struggled to find work. But today was all about making things a little easier for those who fight for our country. Okay, so I'm looking at this sign. JOBS, that is a good word, and that is exactly why you're here.
That's right. We're here to promote our company because we're looking for salesmen and salespeople to really help them get ahead in their life.
Everything from jobs in sales to jobs serving our cities.
It's a police department and a fire department. They understand the teamwork, they understand the concept. So we're very excited. We're working with the vets to get them on the job.
It's called Operation Confidence, and today they transformed the LA sports
Yeah,
arena
man.
into an arena of opportunity, with over 100 companies looking to hire.
The government's trying to do their best, but America needs to step out as people, individuals, and come out and say, hey, one day, you know what, I can come out and support the veterans.
What you're saying essentially is, Veterans Day was last week, but that's irrelevant.
Yes, it's Veteran Day every day because they don't take off a day and say, you know what, today I'm not going to fight for my country because I want the day off. It should be every day.
And veterans, they seem to agree.
You have 116 vendors who are out here today. So they need to know that, hey, I can come out here, I can find the resources, maybe I can find an opportunity that may lead to a job as well.
So there are resources here, and
Let's
the people
go.
need to know when this type of operation happens, this is what you want to see. This is what you want to be at, and the word needs to get out as much as possible, via Twitter, internet. And
Good point, Mr. Whitehead. And you can get more information about today's job fair on our website, NBCLA.com. I'm Andy Adler, NBC4 News.
Okay, so that gives you a little bit of history of how long we've been doing this. We're not beginners at all. We've had a lot of bumps in the road, but we're determined to make it happen for our veterans. And now we're at the point where We have two amazing people, three actually, that's offered to assist us with our housing project, land that was donated to us, and a major community college that's offering to partner with us. So we're going to make this happen. If you want to get involved, you know how to get in touch with us. info@operationconfidence.org. That's our website, and operationconfidence.com is our email address. Or I'm sorry, is our email address. Okay, take it away, John.
Oh, hold on 1 second, Connie.
Yeah, babe.
I'd like to cut away now, if that's okay, because
Oh, sure. I know you have to go. I'm sorry. But
No
thank
problem.
you so much, Matt. I'm so glad you
All right,
stayed
Matt.
on, and we'll see you next month for sure.
You got it. Thank
For
you.
the board meeting and for the show.
All right.
Okay. Bye-bye. Tell
Bye-bye.
Ann I send my love. Bye-bye.
See you. Okay.
Okay. So, John.
Oh, okay. No introduction today. That's fine.
Well, John, for sure. Both of our hosts are gone, so
I'll introduce you, John.
Well, I'll introduce myself.
Charles is going to introduce you. Go ahead, Charles.
Well, John Oppenheim is an Air Force veteran, retired businessman, COO of City Heart. It's a Long Beach nonprofit and advocate for veterans. John is also the COO of the Veterans Council by City Heart as well, and is serving the community in addition to his advocacy work. Today's topic, senior veterans as a distinct group and a yoga demonstration from John. Go ahead, John. How's that?
Thanks, Charles. That was good. By the way, who was that young guy again? Had your name?
Yeah, I know. That was a clone with more weight.
Anyway, thanks for the introduction. I thought I'd start with the yoga and end up with the other part, if that's okay with everybody. As most of you know, because I've done this before, I don't know if I've ever used the term, but I am a yoga evangelist. This year will mark 14 years in September of my doing yoga. And from a health standpoint and overall mental and physical health, I can't think of anything better I've done. This also marks the end of my 44th year. Actually, I celebrated on July 1st when I started jogging and doing cardio in 1979, and I have not laid off longer than 2 weeks, and that's probably been about 4 or 5 times. And I really promote this for a lot of reasons. Unfortunately, Martha's not on with us today, but she started joining my classes that I offer at 11 o'clock every Tuesday morning. And it's open to anybody. It's on Zoom. We don't use a mat. It's just basically what you see here. It's a little longer. And you can email to Operation Confidence.
Right.
If you want to get on the mailing list, I send out the Zoom link every Tuesday morning. So anyway, we always start yoga with breathing. And what makes yoga distinct from other things like it is both the breathing and the meditation we do, and we do a whole lot of stretching, and people get better sleep. I mean, it's just a whole host of benefits. But so I always do a little demonstration, and it's about 15 minutes. So I will time myself, make sure I do that. So just sit back right now, if you would. Maybe close your eyes. Just relax, let your shoulders drop away from your ears, and take a deep inhale. Now we inhale through the belly, up into the abdomen, and then the lungs. So you do an inhale, just bring it up. And as you exhale, do an open mouth, just when you do that, you just kind of let all that tension that's in your body go. Just think of it running out your fingers and your toes. Tension is just like a little river running away from your body. And so let's do some of that nice deep belly breathing. So you bring that air into your belly like you're blowing up a balloon, up into your abdomen and then your lungs. And as you exhale, just let it from your lungs, your abdomen, pull your belly in towards your spine. And as you're doing this, you're starting to focus on that breathing, just ignoring all the distractions that you have in your life. Do 2 nice, big, deep breaths more, and then we'll start a little movement. Nice, deep. This also, if you learn to do this, helps lower your pulse. Nice resting pulse is 55, which is what most athletes have. And as you can tell by looking at me, nobody would accuse me of being an athlete. And just let it go. So finally, just opening your eyes with a soft gaze, sitting up nice and tall in your chair, lining your shoulders with your hips and your knees with your ankles. And on an inhale, bring your arms way up overhead.
It makes you sleepy.
Exhale, let it
You
go.
get so relaxed.
And inhale up. Reach, reach, reach. Think of little strings hanging from the ceiling and are pulling your fingers up. Take a big inhale. And as you exhale, just let your right arm come down and let your left arm come up and over for a nice, easy side stretch. In yoga, we always warm up our bodies before we start doing stuff. I took a class this morning that did me in, but at least I was warmed up. And on the next inhale, come on up. And exhale, just down to the other side. And again, in my classes, we take a lot longer to do these things, but I'm just giving a demonstration. And bring your hands up and bring them to heart center and to your knees. So we're going to do a thing that I learned recently. I can't think she calls it around the world or something like that, but bring your hands together, clasping them, and then on an inhale, bring your elbows up. And as you exhale, round your back, push your hands out. And then inhale, raise your arms up. And as you exhale, let your hands go, bring them behind your back, and then come up, put your shoulders behind you, stick your chin out, and come back. So we'll do one more of those. So inhale, bring those elbows up. Exhale, round your back. Inhale, arms up overhead. Exhale, letting go. Hands behind your back. And bring those shoulders back. So we just opened a whole lot of our body. All right, so the next thing we're going to do, and I do every single class I do neck exercises and shoulder exercises, because that's where we hold most of our tension, neck, your shoulders, and your hips. And we'll do a little hip thing too. So on an inhale, look up. And as you exhale, bring your chin down to your chest. And then on the next inhale, bring your chin up to your right. And then exhale down. And then inhale up to the left. And exhale down. Now this time, if your neck likes you today, you can inhale to the left and maybe bring your head all the way up. And as you exhale, come down nice and slowly. If you get up in the morning and your neck is stiff, these are great exercises to loosen it up. Do that in a little ice and you don't have to take your leave for the day. And just do that one. And on the next inhale, then come up to the other side. In yoga, we do something on one side and we do it on the other. Now, if this is too much, you can just go side to side. I've had a bad neck my whole life, basically. And I don't take drugs. All right. So now coming back on the inhale, bring your shoulders up and back. Oops, sorry. And do a couple more of those. Just like that. Oh yeah, that's good. And shake it out. So we're going to do a little hip opener, which, as I said, you carry a lot of tension in your hips. So again, you always lining up. So take a big inhale as you sit up, and as you exhale, come forward like this, just bending at the waist. So you're not hunching over, but you're just bending at the waist. And again, it depends on how limber you are, how far down you can get. And then on and take a big inhale, and as you exhale, come around to the right. And then inhale, coming back. And you feel this in your lower back, and you can feel it in your hips.
Making popcorn over here.
Exactly. That's the idea.
Richard has his hand up. Is there a question, Richard?
Yeah, I did something similar to this.
Take your hand down.
I had a nuclear medicine test, which was more like a test for your stress levels. Well, of course, I had to be in there. It's like an MRI table. I had to stay in that table. But what I just did was kept doing the same type of breathing.
Yep.
Inhale and exhale through the whole process. And they said, you never got stressed. So they said, you did pretty good. So I did that just to keep myself calm, because whatever they mix in that solution will speed up your heart like having too much caffeine. But
I'm claustrophobic. When I had my first MRI, I did that breathing like you wouldn't believe. And I was in the dentist chair last week doing the same thing.
Oh yeah.
Anyways, we got to go to the other side here, because I want to make sure that you're all in balance. Although there are those who say mentally I'm never in balance. And just come on up. Sit up nice and tall. So the next thing we're going to do, a little arm thing, and that is you want to bring your arms out to the side like this. All right. And on an inhale, bring your right arm over to the left and bring your head with it like this. And then drawing a bow back and then turning your head back. And then inhaling your left arm over to your right. Draw back and come out. You know, I'm sure you can all feel this, especially if you don't do these kind of exercises. But they're really, really good for you. And just one more on each side. And come on back and shake it out. So one of the other things, and by the way, in a wheelchair, in most of my classes, we do seated and standing, but everything that we do standing, except for balancing on one foot, do from a wheelchair. And,
okay.
Balance on one wheel.
Yeah, go right ahead. I'll come pick you up later. All right.
Well, thank you, John. That was a great lesson.
Well, we got one more thing we got to do, and that is we got to meditate for one more minute. All right. Okay. At the end of every session, first of all, when you start working your muscles out, they don't relax right away. And so this is called Shavasana. It usually takes I do a 5-minute one, but we're just going to do 1 minute. So just close your eyes and sit back. And again, just start relaxing your whole body, from your feet to your knees, your thighs, hip, your stomach, and your chest. And just sit quietly for the next many seconds till we get to a minute. And now just open your eyes with a soft gaze and take a big yawn, big stretch. So anyway, that's some of what we do.
Great. Thank you.
Yeah, so the next thing I'm going to do is share my screen with you, and I want to go through a little presentation, and I want to start at the end. This is my new thing. For those of you who've been around me for a while, I'm an advocate activist, and mostly for veterans, but even for anybody, you know. We were talking earlier about homeless veterans, but there's a homeless person is a homeless person. And in Long Beach, we have a lot of things we do at City Heart. We do a lot of services for homeless, but also the formerly homeless. And they're just as much in danger of going back on the streets as just about anybody that's been on the streets. And it's something that they're kind of overlooked, because in our world, it's thought that if you go out on the streets and you get somebody who's homeless and you put them somewhere and you get them wraparound services and a permanent housing with a BASH, which is Section 8 housing voucher, everything's taken care of. And that's just not true. And so I want to talk about the aging population. And this is my quick overview. I'm just starting to get more and more involved with this as I talk to people who run other agencies, and realize that this is a problem that's pretty universal. So just a little background. I work with a large number of senior veterans at Century Villages at Cabrillo. And one of the things that we notice, and as you're looking at me, realize that I'm one of them, that seniors have issues that are really different from a lot of the younger veterans. A couple of things is, number one, there's a kind of an end of road mentality. You know, here I am, this is it for me, and I'm just going to sit here and wait to die. And you can't believe how many times I've heard that. And there's a lack of motivation there. And just one of the other things, again, this is the background, I'll get into some of the issues. Most use the VA or local providers of Medicare and Medi-Cal. There's some organizations that recruit veterans who are over 65 because they're all eligible for Medicare. So they don't have to go to the VA, even though they could. And they can actually go both places, because I do. So the VA and service providers seem to treat all patients the same in regarding their assessments and their care. And this is one of the things I've noticed, because I'm very involved with the VA. I go there, I talk to them and advocate for the veterans. So they kind of, the way they do things is there's an annual physical, and they do the routine look for physical symptoms, and they look at their annual labs, you know, and just look at seniors the way they look at everybody else. And I know that because when I go to VA, that's how I get treated. And the other thing is that if you're sick or you have a problem, your diseases are treated along with other issues you may have. And as seniors, we start piling up all the different things, but they're not looked at holistically. They're looked at individually. And there's some coordination of care that's going on, but not much. And this is a statistic that I just found the other day that really floored me. I had no idea it was this high. But if you'll notice, 65 and over, the numbers are 73% of all veterans 65 that use the VA. I'm assuming it's the VA, although they say it's the US population. And that really surprised me. Because a lot of what we hear about are, you know, the younger ones, and you figure with all the wars we've had recently, there were a lot more, but not in the numbers that we have. And of course, these are baby boomers and older. Anyway, there's a lot of issues for the older veterans, and generally, and especially those who live alone. Number one is isolation and loneliness, because a lot of them don't have a family to support or check up on them. We see this over and over again. We've had people who go to the VA hospital and they get sent back to their room where they live by the VA, and there's no real aftercare for them other than they'll send a nurse out or they'll call them up, say, how are you doing? And so these people just lie in bed. We had to feed a guy one time because he had no food and his credit card had been scammed. So, you know, so things like that. There's a real lack of motivation that leads to a lack of exercise, both physical and mental. One of the things that we've done down at City Heart is we have a brain fitness class, or we did before COVID, and we're going to start again, because mental acuity is just as important as physical acuity. People slow down, they quit using their brain. We all know people like that. You know, we were on the phone with a 98-year-old woman who doesn't have that problem, but she's got 5 kids, right? But so those 5 children are probably looking out after her. Many of the veterans I work with, nobody. Right. So they just sit there. Another one is food insecurity and a lack of good nutrition. You'd be surprised, even though Meals on Wheels and some of these other places deliver, but people who live in permanent housing have to cook for themselves. If you go to a facility, you know, one of these senior facilities where they have a dining hall, and people can go there and their, you know, meals are included, but they don't have that. And so they don't have fresh food. At Century Villages at Cabrillo, the closest grocery store is 4 miles away. And we've got people in wheelchairs and walkers. There's no way they're going to get on a bus with a bag in their hand, take the bus over to the grocery store and come back. So there's some food handouts. We do it at City Heart, but not enough. The other one, and that's that lack of mobility and just going anywhere, because the VA is 7 miles away. VA says, well, we're only 7 miles away. It's easy to get here. Long Beach is a city of 500,000 people, and it takes a half an hour on the bus to get over there. So, you know, these are things that really are issues they have. And another one is that, and this is one that a lot of people that I've talked to recently say, you know, you're right. It's true. As people age, they just entered the system, you know, years ago, and you know they've been there maybe 10 years. We just buried a guy that's last Friday had been living there 13 years at Century Villages. He was in a wheelchair when he got there. You know, he was in good shape. When he died, he had bad heart, he had diabetes, and a whole bunch of other stuff. So they change over time, but that's not, to me, that's not acknowledged. The case management that works in supportive housing are social workers and mental health workers, but not necessarily trained to work with seniors and understand the senior problems. The service providers are not coordinating with the VA, and the VA is not coordinating with them. You know, it's kind of, the VA is it's like Kaiser, they're an HMO, health management organization. You get in your car, you drive to Kaiser, and you go see your doctor. Or if you need to get there another way, they'll take you in the ambulance. But there's not real outreach into the homes. They do have some social workers, but again, seniors take a different kind of social worker. And I don't think I'm telling anybody something they probably don't already know. But what really I've noticed is that there's really no leadership in this area of seniors. I have a thing I got from the VA, they're off their website. Concentration today seems to be on younger veterans, and I'm not saying that younger veterans don't count, but people should not have to compete for dollars and mind share between young people and old people, but they do. And that's really one of the big issues to me. So here's what the VA has on their website. So I keep having to move this thing around. Do it that way. Elderly veterans may be eligible for a wide variety of benefits available to all U.S. military veterans. VA benefits include disability, compensation, pension, blah, 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 and burial. At least they got that part in there. So that's wonderful, and it kind of reinforces my point. I looked up gerontology, which is the study of elderly people, and the VA together, and it's basically nothing. So what is the VA doing? And again, this is my impression. I live in a microcosm. But in my opinion, they're looking at seniors the way they look at younger veterans, which I said. They are creating some programs. There's a new program, and they're bringing it out, and we're working at City Heart with the VA, something called Whole Health, which is to encourage people. So the idea is they have a peer come out, and a peer is a veteran, not an older veteran, but just a veteran. And most of them are pretty young. Young for me is your 40s or 50s. And so they've got this whole health program, and they're going to do an assessment with them and encourage them to get out and do stuff. And the VA's been doing this for a few years. It takes leadership to get people to do something. Hey, come on, let's do something together. And we're actually recruiting volunteers to be part of this in order to get them connected. I met somebody from an organization called Battle Buddies yesterday, and I'd like to invite them on one of the future shows. And to me, they're not showing an awareness of the issues. That, again, is separate. And they're missing an opportunity to show the world that they understand. So here's what's needed, at least in my opinion. Number one is advocacy by all of us to bring awareness to the problem at the local, state, national level. You know somebody, and you know an elderly veteran, or you are one, this is something that you can bring up. And recognition by all the providers that they're dealing with a different population, which leads to dollars from the government. Trust me, there is a ton of money out there for taking care of people, but if you don't focus the dollars where they belong, they go to other places, or they go to some of these service providers that aren't doing their work. And a collaboration of providers to address the problems and solutions. And we're trying to do this in Long Beach. We're collaborating with another agency that works with senior housing to try and bring it to the city and get the city more involved in working with seniors. And it's a quick story because I've seen it work. There's a guy named Kevin, lives at Century Villages at Cabrillo. He's an Army veteran. He was on drugs and alcohol. He goes to AA almost every day. I think he's in his late 60s, something like that. 5 months ago, he was sitting around the place where he lives, and I'd say, "Hey, Kevin," and he was just a sour old man. And then one day he came to City Heart to pick up some food. Actually, he came quite a few times because we had food to give him. And he looked out back, and we've got a garden in back of our building down there. And he said, "I'd really like to start working out in that garden." And 5 months later, he comes in almost every day. He waters, he's planting vegetables and a bunch of other stuff. A totally different guy. I tried to find the video I did of him, but I didn't find it today. So thanks for listening to an old veteran himself. And that's me.
That was amazing.
Hey, John,
Absolutely amazing.
I have a question for you, John.
Yes, sir.
Oh, you were saying earlier that the veterans don't have transportation to get to the VA. You know, that's an obstacle, right? Does City Heart have a connection, or have you guys tried to maybe like get transportation? Like a City Heart owned van or something that you can, you know.
Well, we're a startup, but yeah, of course, we're working on that. One of the things I have the director of the Long Beach Veterans Hospital come out, talk to some of the residents one day, and that came up. There is a van service, but you have to call ahead at the VA. But it has to, you have to go through your primary care physician to have it. Well, you know that because you go there. You have it.
I'll go there.
Okay. But anyway, they have to do a referral for that. But the US Vets has 5 vans. We can't get them to help.
Wow.
This you.
Well, what could we do, John?
Sorry?
What could we do? Because this information was outstanding. We're so busy trying to get our homeless veterans with disabilities in, and what could we do with this information that you just gave us?
Well, I'd like
word
to,
out of it.
Every once in a while bring it back, but honestly, anybody you talk to who deals with veterans, ask them, what do you know about the senior veterans that are living, in supportive housing?
Yeah, but we need some hands-on work. These guys are suffering and starving and, lonely and, you name it.
Yeah, and the problem is they go through a lot of stuff to get them in there, and that's it.
Yeah, just
exactly.
John brought that
and
up.
that, it's like, okay, you're not homeless,
right?
You're on your own now,
right?
And that mentality is just, that's just wrong.
Well,
and like you say, lonely too. That's horrible.
Connie, it's a really good question, and I wish I could say, well, do this, and this. It's a matter of money and focus. And one of the problems, and the first show I was on, if you'll remember, I talked about the housing problems and
right.
And we ended up having a protest at Century Villages, and that worked. We've got the property people actually sitting down once a month and meeting with us, but it's the VA responsibility that needs to be changed. And if you know anybody who's in political life, reach out to them.
And let's use this venue as well to be able to bring awareness about it. Bring different ones on the show that, like the veteran who's now doing the gardening, things like that they can do, because during COVID and social distancing, who would ever think that I have this beautiful garden out here? I just went to town. I call them my plant babies, and you become so involved in that. It's extremely therapeutic, and look like we could do something to be able to help them, get involved and bring awareness to the loneliness, let them know that there's people out there that want to help,
Well, what we're doing in Long Beach is reaching out to our city council people.
Yeah.
Honestly, if you remember that old politician from Boston, I was going to say Ed O'Neill, but that wasn't him, but Tip O'Neill. His whole thing was all politics is local. And getting to your local politicians is really good. Charles, are you in the 1st district?
Right here downtown, I believe.
Yeah, I think you're in the first. Anyway, there was a thing yesterday. It was called Pets and Vets Parade, and we were there. And so that city councilwoman, her name is Mary Zendejas. I went up.
I know her.
Well, she's in a wheelchair.
Yeah.
So it's such a huge problem. It really is just trying to make people aware. And Connie, you're right. It's a good venue here. I appreciate the opportunity to start talking about it. I'm just starting my campaign And
But
for
what-
those who know me, they don't really want to hear that, but
I love to be involved with that. It's so important. And we, like I said, we can use this venue to bring people on. I know a lot of veterans that are suffering wouldn't want to be a guest on the show, and you never know. Maybe they want to talk about it.
well, and you can always have somebody contact me. I mean, if they're not in my area.
I'm saying go through you.
Because we have a referral system that we work with. And we, there's that's the thing. There are a lot of resources out there. They're just not focused in the areas that I think are important.
Of course.
If you look at 73% over 65.
Wow, that's amazing.
And
nothing is being done. That's what's so horrible.
Well, it was, that's like US Vets, we house more veterans every night than anybody else in the United States. Well, we don't give awards for that.
No.
How well are they housed is the next question.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
And that's where the VA can participate, but they don't see themselves as outreach. That's part of the problem. They are
It's the culture. It's the philosophy has to change. It's Long Beach is a very disabled advocate type city, but Long Beach is one city. There are
this
look
is
across the
everywhere.
nation, the problem is just seriously bad. So even if what we're doing here, or here in Long Beach, it's still lacking because the whole philosophy and the culture of the VA and care, the care for it's just,
I've been trying for 3 years to try and get that going. We had a little thin thread that got broken a couple of years ago with a person at the VA, and they said, "Well, we'll get her replaced." I'm waiting.
Yeah, and it's a lot of politics that I don't understand.
Well,
but but there's some local folks, that we need to get riled up to want to come in and help. I mean, just for someone to come to a veteran that's lonely and read a book, help him to write a letter to his loved one, make sure he's got food. There's some wonderful people. There's churches and temples and others we can just notify and let them get involved, and it doesn't have to be just in Long Beach,
No, I'm just saying that's my venue.
That's your city. Yeah, I understand, but the need is great. And I really appreciate you coming on with that. And don't let it stop there. You need to do part 2, 3, 4, and 5, on this
You don't have to ask me.
Extremely important. Huh?
You don't have to ask me twice.
Okay.
Hey John, I have a question for you. Now, is City Heart lacking in food? Things like that, essentials, things like that.
Well, I mean, there's an organization called Good to Grow. They're up on Santa Fe, for those of you who know Long Beach, up near towards the 405, near Willow. And this is a veteran run organization. They grow food and they bring us food every Wednesday.
Okay.
And the permanent housing people have the food bank delivers once a week, but that food doesn't last that long, especially if it's
a lot of it's already a teeny bit over time.
So I mean, it's kind of like, we can use it. When could you bring it?
The reason I bring it up is because there's a church I attend here in Long Beach, and the pastor is Wayne Cheney, and his father was in the government in Long Beach, and they actually held the gospel festival out here a few years back. And I wonder if because they're always doing stuff, and maybe I'll give them a call and
I'm sure they want to get involved.
You or whoever it is over there, maybe we can do a three-way or a connection. Try to get a connection going there, because there's no way
Don't forget me.
Well, absolutely.
I want to be involved in it too.
Well,
My suggestion.
I'm talking about food. You, of
Food
course, you're gonna be
company
in it.
and
You over here on Operation Confidence. You know, we didn't. I'm just saying. Like,
we didn't talk to everybody too,
yeah,
you know.
yeah,
Well, you need to come visit us.
Oh, I
yeah,
shall now that I think I can get out in the community. But you know, we were all masked up there for a while, you
Well,
know.
we're going to be back to it in a couple of weeks.
Yeah, so
yeah,
I don't
yeah.
want to run out there and start a whole new series.
And you know, and that's a shame because City Heart is literally like right there in the midst of every truck container that comes from.
Yeah,
Oh, I
and
mean, you know, because
coming
I
through
know
long.
because I'm in the business, and then I pass by there. You know, all those trucks go to the Shell station right down the street to get
Yes,
the
they do.
fuel and the Chevron and all that. And right there, zillions of dollars being passed through, and you can't feed some people. No, you know.
That doesn't make no sense. That's so bad.
So you know,
And you had your hand up.
I did. John, I'm really impressed with your way of thinking. What you're really doing is talking about a systemic change.
Mm-hmm.
I could give you lots of history of working with veterans, but my stepfather was the adjudication officer for the VA in this region of the country. And even as a child, I saw that the system was not working. Now, what you're talking about is a systemic change. It's more than politics. I understand that the VA is essentially government bureaucracy and a big one, but I'm so impressed with the way you've seen this because I agree with everybody here that if the people get involved, that's the pressure.
Yep.
One or two veterans or me writing a letter or everybody here writing a letter, it's not going to make anything happen.
Right.
But when you get the public involved, your churches and even, you know, other nonprofit organizations.
Right, the synagogue.
That's what we need to do is get together a very serious coming together of partners and essentially kind of bypass the government until we have a strong enough voice.
Right, that makes a lot of sense.
Beautiful. You're doing a beautiful job, and your presentation was very good.
Wasn't it beautiful?
Thank you.
Yes. So you know,
But we got work to do, John.
I'm here to help you to get a systemic change so that government is not just listened to by a few people who write letters, but by nonprofit and individuals and so forth who say, this needs to be done in America. And we've got new ways of communication. We certainly have new technologies, all of that. And we're still groveling with the people who have served us best. We need spokespersons like you, and I'm definitely very pleased to know this group, and especially Consuela, because she gets all this. So I think we need to try to figure out how are we going to get different organizations and or individuals and or even schools involved.
And get the media involved. You know, I have personal friends, I don't want to mention any names that are Facebook friends that we can get word to, but because, you know, like say, for instance, Channel 7 has a food outreach, you know, and I think several other stations do as well.
Yeah, I just don't think that legislatures and Congress.
Yeah, it's a hard.
Direct communication to them doesn't hurt, but it doesn't really help.
No, and they'll usually get involved when they see that you already got like you said, bringing the public together.
Well, yeah, I mean, they give money to people they've given money to before. I mean, they just keep pouring at these.
Yeah, they do, and you wonder how come you didn't qualify. You know, I've had them come as, I'm not mentioning any names, as keynote speakers and guest of honor at our events. They'll turn around and give a major donation to someone in the audience, and here we standing out there saying, help.
Exactly.
You know, it's our event. We're putting this on because we need help.
Yeah.
And then I look up and some organization that was our guest got this award, this money that's donated to them. So
We just
those
need
are some
to
of the
do
challenges
something.
that
Everybody
we
needs to do something, and that doing something is not writing letters to Congress.
No, go.
Yeah, that's what they.
You know,
that's
it's
the goal.
interesting. I have a saying that I came out of the corporate world, which is not that different than the government world, but except that you have to eat. So sometimes you do it a little better. But I used to go to these directors meetings and stuff, and I used to think, everybody sits around and admires the problem, and nobody wants to do anything
That's
about
right.
it.
right.
And
There's
Consuelo,
a lot.
you're the first one. It's been a long time. What can we do? And instead of saying, "Oh, that's a terrible problem,"
No, I want to get out there. It breaks my heart, And like you said, that's a population that's overlooked, And I can imagine how they feel. I have elderly family members, and thank God they have family just bringing them food and making sure they're bathed and taking their medication on time and clean clothes. But there's others that are unable to provide those personal care for themselves. And just to have someone to come by and say, I'm coming to check on you, let's write a letter or read a book, that's so important.
We've become an ungiving society, and actually, I believe it's our biggest flaw. And we keep thinking that because we have supposed experts in all kinds of fields, that somebody else is taking care of it. We need to take care of one another.
Exactly. That's the way.
Well, we tend to help other countries with billions of dollars, but we can't help our own people right here with
right
billions of dollars. So.
Yeah, I've seen it.
Richard, what do you think?
We got to move on to Richard.
Taking something. I'm trying to read his mind. And
well, he's getting ready to give his presentation too.
Oh, okay. All right. Good.
Sorry, Richard, I took all your time.
No, we stopping the time for Richard.
No problem.
Well, let's just.
You gonna read his intro for me?
Yeah, I'll give you Richard Cook is considered another role model. He's a U.S. Army Special Forces veteran. He's a sergeant in the Army, or he was a sergeant in the Army who fought.
I'm retired, sergeant.
or retired. Okay, how's that? Almost died. Okay, Anyway, he fought for his country for over 30 years. During his service, he managed to build a family and launch a career in entertainment, hosting a weekly radio show while representing models and actors. But Sergeant Cook's greatest battle occurred far after he returned from overseas. Out of the blue, an undetected tumor in his heart caused a massive stroke that required emergency surgery. While Sergeant Cook survived, he suffered substantial brain damage that led to vision loss, body weakness, and aphasia. This marked the beginning of an enlightening journey to beat the odds and rediscover himself. This year, Richard will officially be entering into the Golden Age Games, the 1,500-meter power walk, a major accomplishment after suffering 3 strokes in 2016. Whether you're a veteran, a stroke survivor, or a lover of great American stories, reading Sergeant Cook's book entitled I Once Was Whole will inspire you to never stop reaching for your goals. Richard was recently appointed as the new American Veterans Commander. He also has a bestseller on Amazon, I Once Was Whole, the book. And the interview starts right now. Go ahead, Rich.
Thank you very much. Well, I'm going to start this way. If I make a mistake in saying what I need to say, that's because I have to talk a little bit slower so the aphasia doesn't affect me. That's what I've learned from speech therapy, but that's what I have to say at that point. But anyways, let me kind of go
whatever you need to do. We don't care.
Okay, thank you. I'll do the best. Otherwise, I start stammering. Okay, and that it's the same way as our president, which he has some level of speech difficulty.
Right.
He said that before, but I have the same way right now. So, anyways, I've been training up over the past 2 months with various types of exercises, but mainly because I've been strengthening up my lower body, but I have to do with my upper body as well too, because the power walk is going to use my upper body as well as I'm moving along. So the thing is, I've been working on that. So I've been going on and on. I would say I'm still pretty good, because the reason why I'm saying that, is because I have recently did 13.5 miles. Now, the reason why I'm doing the distance walking is because the legs will still get stronger and better, besides what I do at my gym in strengthening the legs. So that
And
way
your
I can
heart.
still, I'm saying?
And your heart muscles, you're strengthening that
Yeah.
up too.
Exactly. So that I'm doing all that so that way I can still be able to do the power walk because it's just 1 mile, but I have that kind of planned out and how I'm going to do it this time. Uh, Last time I did it, and I admit I still ended up at 7th place, but I still did it. But the thing is, I'm going to do it much better this time around. So
See
that's
there,
all.
you never did give up.
No,
Continue on.
I didn't give up, and I'm still working on that. So that way it could be able to be seen, and that way I can show how I'm doing much better than way back then. Okay, so the thing is, also the Veterans Administration contacted me about the Golden Age Games, but they also said they have put out that I will be doing what I'm doing, so they put me in the recognition of heroes. So they have that. So I'll be there in mid-July, which will be on the 17th. I'll be able to be there for the various series of events. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to take a picture of what they have portray me in the Wall of Heroes, right, in that respect.
That's amazing. Congratulations.
Thank you very much. Also, I don't know if there's any photos to show in regards to what I've been doing for exercising, so that way I can get my strength up. So if
I
there
have
is,
a clip or two, you know. Let me see here. There. No, that's not what I want to do. Hold on, give me 1 second. You know,
okay.
But I'll show this in a sec here.
So
Yeah.
I'm still working out every 3 days. I'll put it this way, where I do strengthening at the gym, and then of course the off days is I still rest. So that way the body could still
Right.
heal itself. So like
Exactly.
that.
That's why I was able to do 44 years so far. I give my body rest.
Yeah.
I do
That's
4
right.
days a week. That's it.
44 years of what? Exercise?
Cardio.
Cardio. That's so important.
14 years of yoga.
That's
yeah.
amazing. That's wonderful.
All right, here's one. So I got a few. I'll show. So here, right here, looking at.
Yeah. So that's the lower body, strengthening my legs for the power walk. So I have to have my upper thighs as well too to be strong enough so I don't fizzle out.
That's Planet Fitness, huh?
Yes.
I belong to that gym.
Oh, all right. Here, there's another one. I don't know which each one is, but I'm gonna just.
Yeah, that's the upper body, upper workout with my arms. That left side right there is the weak side, but I've been building it up, so now it's much stronger.
So this is showing the opposite,
Yeah, that's technically the left side I was working
right,
on.
because you're
Yeah.
doing a selfie. Okay.
Yeah.
And then I'll show you and one more, and then we can kind of. I don't know what this is, but.
That's left side for what's like push-ups, but that's one of the equipment we work on both sides, including the left side.
All right.
Well, congratulations, my friend. I'm so proud of you.
Thank you.
Keep up
in
the
mind,
good work.
that left side is what was affected from the stroke, strokes, which in 2016, I couldn't do any of that.
Yeah, I've seen several pictures, So you're doing amazing. And then you're getting ready to be in another walkathon, right?
In the future, but right now I'm concentrating on the Golden Age Games just to be able to do what I'm doing.
Okay.
Mainly the power walk, because there's going to be a series of other events that I'm going to have out there because I'll be there for about a week. The thing is, I'm working
Where is it?
on the
Where is it
follow-up.
going to be?
We're going to be in South Dakota in Sioux Falls.
Really?
Yeah,
Wow.
but it'll be right by the monument.
Mm-hmm. Oh, that is so cool. But we're proud of you. We're going to be cheering you on, and make sure you take a lot of pictures so you can
Oh,
share.
thank you. That's what I plan to do. I have to erase some of the ones I've had before, so that way it doesn't load up the
Yeah.
memory.
Okay, and we're almost ready to sign off, but just tell them a little bit about your photography work.
Well, my photography work, I've been taking various photos, so that's also be able to do. Reason why I'm doing that, because two reasons. One, as I focus on the photo I'm taking of whether it's a flower or something else, it calms me down. So that way I don't have any
Therapeutic.
negative effects. So it calms me down. So the thing is, but then at the same time, I can apply my artistic look into the photo and I make it more artistic. I don't know if we have any of that to show. I've sent some as well, but yeah, if we do, well, there you go, right there. That's an artistic look right there, where the flowers are all in the different aspects of artisticness. So like the lower one, lower left, that's it looks like a lei, but that's how I designed it that way. Then of course there's the hibiscus right there, and then of course I took that one at the very top on the right side of those type of flowers at the Long Beach VA.
Okay.
Like that. So actually both those on the top were taken at the Long Beach VA.
That's absolutely beautiful.
It's
Well, I've seen
beautiful.
some of your
It's
work
beautiful.
already.
And what is this, Richard?
I can't see, I'm sorry.
A roller coaster?
Oh yeah. I went and took a picture out there at the Santa Monica Pier while I was out on my walk. And the thing is, I thought I want to take a picture of the roller coaster. So I took a picture of the roller coaster.
Okay. Wow.
Okay.
I can't even look at the roller coaster, let alone getting on one.
Yeah, I won't get on it right now,
Oh,
but I
hell
just took a
no.
picture of it.
Scary. Well, thank you so much.
You're welcome.
Well,
Are you running out of time, Consuela? Because I have a little.
yeah, we are.
Oh yeah, I have a little bit of information to give on. It's a veterans.
Go ahead.
Piece of data. You know, in World War II, that if somebody was rejected for the service, they were called 4F, and I never knew what that meant. Well, I finally found a historian about a month ago who told me the history. In the Civil War, when you had to essentially, you had to use your teeth to make the firing of the
Bullets.
the gun.
Yeah.
If you had 4 teeth missing, they wouldn't take you in. So 4F means 4 teeth missing, and it comes from a Civil War.
Oh my goodness.
Isn't that fun?
Wow, that's amazing.
So I'm looking if maybe Richard can help me find one. I'm looking for a picture of anybody with 4 front teeth missing that will let me use their picture on a presentation I have to give to a little bit of World War II history.
Yeah, you couldn't use my teeth because the dentist at the hospital at the Long Beach, I mean at the West LA VA, says I got perfect teeth.
Oh, it's not you, that's for sure.
Does it have to be a veteran, Ann?
I didn't hear you.
So does it have to be a veteran?
No.
Just anyone, huh?
Give me a picture. Put black on your teeth and smile. Okay.
Well, I think you can find a picture on the internet too.
Well,
unfortunately, out in the world I operate in, there's too many of them.
Well, we're closing down now. Take it away, Charles. And he has some information about what we did on Saturday and Sunday and his funny animal clip. And then I'm going to sign off.
I'm gonna bypass the first we talked about homelessness a lot today. So,
Right.
okay. On last Saturday and Sunday, which was July 25th and 26th, Operation Confidence hosted the Frank Clark Foundation, a football camp at Linwood High School that was a huge success. The Veterans Camp was held in collaboration with Paralyzed Vets of America California chapter right here in Long Beach. Operation Confidence is a 501c3 non-profit organization that advocates for disabled veterans. Throughout the camps, Frank Clark and his coaches offered tips and hands-on instruction, including lectures, fundamental football skill stations, contests, and non-contact games in a high-energy, fun, and positive environment with cleanliness and sanitation measures in place. The campers were placed in small groups by age to ensure maximal instruction, featuring a 10-to-1 maximum camper to coach ratio. The camp was staffed by some of the area's top high school and college coaches. Awards were given in each age group, and each attendee received a souvenir autograph from Frank Clark, a camp team photo with Frank Clark, and a limited edition Frank Clark football camp T-shirt. So I will show you some pictures here, and just a few from that. Okay, so here's Frank, and Connie and myself and Martha. There's Frank and Connie and her niece. We don't have of course, he plays for the Kansas City Chiefs. When you look at these guys, the position he plays defensive end. Those guys used to be like 300 pounds back then. This guy's like 6'5" and 250. So,
I was blown away by that.
Yeah.
He's a little skinny man. I mean, tall.
Well, it seems, yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Big, skinny.
Compared to the way people used to be back in the days, this the modern age. Now they work on speed and strength as opposed to thickness and punch.
Right.
And I'm sure he has punch too, And then Connie's like, he's looking at her like, what you come up with us? He's looking at. He's like, tell me what you said again now.
Look, that he look like this what he's saying.
That is so cute. That's a great picture.
What is it you talking about, huh?
I know it. Look at his
face.
He's
like he got his shirt ready to wipe his face. I'm out here sweating in the fields. Oh, okay.
Yeah, right. I'm gonna jack him up.
I thought it was a 12-year-old girl, and all once I realized that's
Connie.
Yeah, right. Thank you.
And then,
yeah, there go Mark.
You got, man, it's hot out here.
Yeah, right.
And so, and then
there goes Charles.
I took this picture early on before anyone got there, mostly. And so we had a few veterans come out from the PVA and Operation Confidence. We represented well. So, he was talking here, and it was a good camp. It was So.
You know what? I was surprised in how long they stayed out there, running back and forth in that.
That's football for you,
and those kids ran back and forth with them.
Boy, they got energy.
Hours and hours.
That's
John, do you have a picture of you with Frankie? John was there.
No, somebody took it, but I'm trying to get a hold of him.
We still have yet to collect pictures.
He had it on Facebook. On his Facebook.
I haven't been on that site, but the photographer is actually going to give us some pictures. And,
well, that's good.
So then we'll have, we'll be able to show a lot more. This is just.
I have to prove to my wife that I wasn't out at a bar.
Okay.
Well, you in trouble then, because we don't have any evidence. I'm
always in trouble anyway.
Oh, that's so funny. Okay, well, we're going to close down now. I want to thank our guests for coming on today, and of course, our co-hosts. It was a great show for very informative information. And John, you're going to come back and finish up with part 2, 3, and 4 on aging veterans. And Rosie, girlfriend, you're going to come back with some more of the Rosies. And it's been absolutely wonderful. And to hear from those wonderful, wonderful Rosies and how articulated they speak and have so much to offer and so much history. I sure hope Matt will consider writing some of their stories. Have anyone considered documenting some of that? Matt's a writer, so he can have it and put it in the Veterans News.
Well, we definitely need
affiliated.
writers. What we typically find is that people will record them and send a recording over to the Rosie the Riveter National Park there in San Francisco, but then they're not accessible and that easily to the public. We need writers who really put their heart in it and who really relate to the women and enjoy them. And
Right,
it
that's
doesn't
so
matter.
important.
It doesn't matter where they're published.
So much history that's going by, you know,
Yeah.
and contributions that they made to our
The
our
interviews don't
military.
give you lots of information, but they don't give you as much the human side as you get if you can really write an article about a lady and, you know, say, you know, what's the most important thing to you in life?
Well, from all of the roses that you've had on the show, thank God we have it documented in the script and also
Very, very good. This is
on our YouTube channel. So
Yeah.
Well,
that-
what I like to do, this is Richard, I'd like to work and produce a movie of the Rosie of the Rivers. Just keep in mind what segments you would like. I'd like to do that and what I could do with.
I'm ready, Richard.
With the director. Yes, I'll do
I'm
that.
ready. Let's-
that'd be great, Richard.
We have to get Connie to, you know, be involved and
I am.
but what I'm saying is, Connie, we don't want to be writing grants or whatever without you. So I'm just.
Oh no, I'm right here. Don't write nothing without me. We need everything we can get. But I appreciate it. So anyway, we're gonna say goodbye, and it was a great show. And once again, I want to wish everybody a happy and safe 4th of July. And don't forget to subscribe to our YouTube channel, Operation Confidence, America's Invisible Heroes on YouTube. We want to get more, and it's kind of confusing when you look at our channel as well. Sometimes you'll see 4 or 5 or 6 viewers, and then you'll look at a few others and there's thousands. So it's confusing to me. I have no idea how it works, but please subscribe to it. So we're going to end the show by telling everybody that, as always, we want to remind our listeners that our goal is to raise awareness about Operation Confidence and our mission, which is to provide stable housing with a wide range of supportive services, including employment opportunities for veterans, especially some that are disabled and have already experienced homelessness. So to get involved, please send us an email to info@operationconfidence.org. And don't forget to visit our website, www.operationconfidence.org. We have an amazing resource page. So thank you so much, and see you next week. And John and Richard and my girl. And thank you so much for coming on the show. And of course,
Very welcome as always.
we want to thank Matt for coming on, although he's one of the co-hosts, but he's so precious. Of course, my buddy Charles over there. Thank you, Charles. We got so much history together. And thank you guys, and see you next week.
All right, so I'm gonna close it out and show animal humor next week. We got
Yeah, you got animal humor.
Yeah.
We'll show that next week.
Next week, yeah. Well, I won't be here next week, but you know, still, you know,
Well, in the meantime, brush your teeth or you won't be allowed into the Civil War.
Okay.
Brush your teeth.
I got
Thanks, folks. Thanks so much.
I have some of those funny teeth like that too.
Yeah. I want a photo, Charles.
I have one somewhere, you know. I used to do it at work.
No, I don't want you to show nobody.
I'm not gonna show it now. I used to do it at work. You know, I put on a big old afro and have these snagger tubes.
Oh no, Charles, I don't want to do that. Don't show that.
Yeah, that's humor, you know. That's what people.
I know it's humor. It's funny.
Hey, I served anyway, right?
Okay.
There you go.
Bye, all. Thank you.
All right, y'all. Good to see you. You know, I'm gonna
Bye
show
now.
this video and then we're out.
Yep.
Be safe. Whatever you do, eat much. I got some ribs in there marinating and some shrimp that's already seasoned, ready to go.
Oh, you get ready to grub up.
Crank the smoker up tomorrow.
Okay.
All
Have
right.
fun. Bye-bye.
All right.
For more information or to be a guest on our show, email info@operationconfidence.org.